We've got people entering the room right now, and I hope everybody is having an awesome day. Very excited for this month's elevator pitch, where we have three IT vendors, which will each give us 10 minutes of their elevator pitch to bring us up to speed about their products and services. This is an incredible opportunity for all of us to learn more about how their solutions can help us be more efficient, more productive, and more profitable in our MSP businesses. And last but not least, also to improve the overall client experience. And so today we have a great lineup. We've got Victor Lopez with FlexPoint. We've got Mr. Greg Jones with Kaseya. He's going to be talking about Profit Fuel. And we have Matt Nesty with Wasabi, and we'll be talking about cloud storage. I want to go over a couple quick housekeeping tips here. A few things. What we'll do is we'll begin our presentations. As I mentioned, each one of our vendors will have 10 minutes to give us their elevator pitch. Once each of them are done, what we'll do is we'll throw a poll up asking which of the vendors that you want to hear from. So if you go ahead and just complete that poll, we'll turn that information over to those vendors so they can reach out to you. And then what we'll do is we'll be opening up our breakout rooms, our demo rooms, where you can see some more hands-on learning, as well as get some additional Q&A. So any kind of questions that you have, save up for those demo rooms. And last but not least, and this is a big incentive for you to stay all the way to the end, we have $250 of cash that will be given away to one lucky attendee. So be sure to stay all the way to the end so that we can turn over $250 cash to you. So again, we will kick things off right now. So we will begin with Victor Lopez, who is with FlexPoint, and we're going to talk about payment solutions. And Victor, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me, Dan. Excited to be here.
Happy to have you here as well. And I'm going to put you in the hot seat. We're going to ask, one unique thing about Victor that others might not be familiar with.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good one. So I actually one of the things I don't get this question often, but one of the things that I think people find interesting. So I actually started my career as an attorney. So I have a
Oh,
full
wow.
law license. I could practice in the state of New York, and yeah, we'll have to spend a little bit more time talking about how I went from being an attorney to starting a software company, but that's a story for
Yeah,
another day.
that's awesome. So everybody make sure that you are in your best behavior because Victor is an attorney and he will probably
I
be
can't
taking
help you.
notes.
So if you get pulled over or get a ticket, I cannot help you.
Oh,
And nothing
bummer.
I'm saying as part of my presentation is legal advice. So just the
Yeah,
disclaimer.
exactly. So, Victor, we're going to go ahead and we'll start our timer. You have 10 minutes, and we'll go ahead and kick it off right now with Victor Lopez with FlexPoint.
All right, let me just share my screen real quick. All right. You see that okay?
Yes, thank you.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks a bunch, Dan. So I'm going to kick it off. Just quick introduction. So I am the founder and CEO at FlexPoint. So before FlexPoint, so again, going back to my fun fact there. So before FlexPoint, I was actually an investor. So I was a principal at a $150 billion investment firm, and we invested in all kinds of things. So everything from software companies that served MSPs to roll-ups of MSPs. So I have a pretty good understanding of the ins and outs of businesses, especially MSPs. And so prior to that, I started my career as a private equity M&A attorney. So again, going back to the early days of my career, but like I said, long journey, but happy to be here. So I'm going to start by talking a little bit about what FlexPoint does for those that are not familiar with FlexPoint. So we are an accounts receivable and payments automation platform. So we do everything from invoicing, billing, payments, back to reconciliation and collections. And so we do that through payments, credit cards, ACH, but we also offer what we call our working capital solution. So that's working capital for both the MSP client, so large projects, large invoices where they need a little bit more time to pay, and for the MSP themselves. So MSP looking to grow the business, go through some periods of choppy cash flow, we can help out there as well. And so we solve a lot of problems for MSPs, but one of the things I want to talk about specifically is the collections process. So this might sound familiar to a lot of you listening in, but when it comes to invoicing and collecting payments, probably very similar. Day one, you send out your invoices, you sync them over to QuickBooks. Week later, you might start getting some payments. You start reconciling those payments. Maybe you got some checks. You put those into QuickBooks. You make sure those are all reconciled with your invoices. You might start emailing some customers. Hey, you're going to pay me those invoices that are still outstanding. And then about 2 weeks later, you hopefully start getting more payments. Keep reconciling those payments. You keep emailing those customers, maybe a little bit more forcefully this time. And then about 30 days later, so now we're talking about a whole billing cycle later, you keep reconciling those payments, and now you start doing what's, I think a bit awkward for most of us. It's you pick up the phone and you start calling those clients and you start saying, hey, are you going to pay me those invoices? And then about day 45, a month and a half in, right? At this point, you got some stragglers, you're reconciling those payments, you're calling, you're being a little bit more forceful with those customers, and now day 60. So at this point, you're 2 months in, you've called, you're emailed. Now you're starting to think about suspending services. Now let's be honest, client service business, how many people would actually shut off the email, the firewall, the EDR, the MDR, all the great tools they work? Probably not too many, but that's where you start thinking about it. 2.5 months in, at this point, you're probably not going to collect that money, right? So at this point, it's likely a loss. So this might sound familiar to you. Hopefully, some improvements here and there, but what you see here is a waste of a lot of time, waste of a lot of money, a lot of manual processes, and worst of all, creates a lot of friction between yourself and your client. So I want to talk about 3 examples specifically. So let's take, for example, $500,000 MSP. Just getting started, just growing. In a given year, that $500,000 MSP is paying close to $10,000. Again, this is on average. This is based on all the data we have. On average, $10,000 in payment processing fees. Slightly bigger MSP, about $1 million MSP, they're paying close to $20,000 in payment processor fees. This is on top of the time they're wasting calling those clients, invoicing those clients, collecting the clients, reconciling, all that good stuff. Now, a slightly bigger MSP, $30 million MSP, maybe an MSP similar size to most of you, they're paying close to $60,000 in payment processing fees. On top of that, they got all the wasted time collecting. Now, I don't know about you, but with $10,000 in payment processing fees, you can buy a Sea-Doo. Pretty cool, right? With $20,000 in payment processing fees, I know none of us dream and aspire to buying a Kia Forte as our car. Apologies to everyone that has a Kia Forte, but you might have a kid who's graduating from high school. Kia Forte is a good car to start, but $20,000 could have got you that. $60,000. All right. 2023 Dodge Challenger with a Scat Pack. I don't know what a Scat Pack is, to be honest. Marketing people, hopefully they know what the Scat Pack is, but you could buy one of those with $60,000. Now let's take a look what that all looks like with FlexPoint. So that same $500,000 MSP spending close to $10,000 in processing fees with FlexPoint, that's $25 ACH fees. That $1 million MSP paying close to $20,000 in processing fees, that's $50 ACH fees. That $3 million MSP paying close to $60,000 in processing fees, that's $150 in ACH fees with FlexPoint. Now, I know most of you at this point are probably thinking this sounds way too good to be true, but let's look at some real life examples here. So Excellent Networks joined FlexPoints and 80% faster payments, 24 hours to 2 hours a month saved on invoicing billing. and $10,000 saved in a year on credit card fees. IT Vortex, get this one. This one's really good. 2 to 30 times faster payment cycles. And they're saving $15,000 a month. Now, they're a little bit bigger than that $3 million MSP, but still $15,000 a month payment processing fees. I think they actually bought 3 Dodge Challengers with that money. So pretty good. WJP Technology. So 30% increase in clients using AutoPay, 3x faster payment processing, and 15% savings on those payment processing fees. So these are real results. So yes, we do help you save time, save money on the billing side of things, but we can also help you make money. So let me tell you a quick story. So Loud and Clear Technologies, looking to go up market, MSP, smaller, mid-size MSP in the Midwest, looking to go up market, looking to work with bigger clients, enterprise clients. But what they realized is the majority of these clients were looking for payment terms, net 60, net 90. Because they didn't have the cash flow to provide those terms, they looked for a solution. So they came to FlexPoint. So in 8 months, Loud and Clear grew revenue using FlexPoint's working capital solutions by 400%. So I'm not talking about going from $10,000 to $40,000. I'm talking about growing by $500,000 in revenue. And they sped up their payment processing by 5 times. And yes, they saved a lot of money in payment processing fees. Now, most of you have probably thought about working with a leasing company or a finance company, but either have hesitated to because you think, there's all this paperwork, there's back and forth, introduces friction. So what I want to show you real quick is what that process looks like with FlexPoint. Yep, 12 seconds. That's it. So with FlexPoint, it's a seamless process, all done through the same payment portal as your clients pay via credit card and ACH. And common questions that we get asked: what happens if they stop paying? Well, if they stop paying, that's FlexPoint's problem. You still get paid up front, and the client pays over time. So in summary, FlexPoint helps you solve your payment problems when it comes to billing and invoicing, but we can also help you grow your business through our working capital solutions. We're a month-to-month solution. We don't require long-term contracts. We do buy out contracts if you're in a contract with a competitor and you're looking to get out. But if you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to me or go to this link right here and learn more. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Victor. This is very good information. One of the things that my business mentor taught me very early on is that cash is king. And without proper cash flow, we can't grow our businesses. We can't pay our employees. We are putting ourselves at risk. And so having proper tools to be able to automate and ensure that we are getting paid properly, number one, but also being able to eliminate a lot of those just excessive costs are critical, because there's just so much money that just flies out the door. And it is up to us as business owners. And this is where it's so important that we are not stuck in our business and that we're on our business, that we work to identify things like this. When we are stuck and trapped in our businesses, we are, as the CEO, we're still the chief ticket worker. We can't look for these type of things, and it's critical. So
Absolutely.
Excellent. So Victor, thank you. We're going to move on to our next speaker. We've got Mr. Greg Jones, who is at home in the United Kingdom right now. And Greg is normally traveling around the world. I think Greg might have so many frequent flyer miles that I think he owns Delta. I think that was one of the things on his chart. So Greg, how are you doing today?
Hey, Dan. Great to see you. Thanks for having me on. And welcome everybody to today's session. Victor, cool presentation. I like that. And you are right. Cash is king in business. And I'm going to carry that theme on today. So I'm just going to share my screen very quickly.
Before you get started, though, we can't let you, not be in the hot seat and tell us one thing about Greg that most people might not know.
So I am a keen snowboarder. Not many people know, but I moved on from that, and I used to do a lot of heliboarding. I don't get much time. Quite a lot of it was in just outside of Banff in Canada, with a company called RK Heliski. So yeah, that's one of my little
Very
secrets I
cool.
keep to myself. So yeah.
That's very cool. I try to stay out of that. I mean, usually ski is the most that it comes to, skiing or snowboarding or anything like that. So, um, with that being said, Greg, we do see your presentation. I'm gonna go ahead and set the timer for 10 minutes, and you can begin now.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dan. And Dan's claim to fame was correct. I did beat Rob Ray in air miles. So that's one of my claims to fame in life. But look, great to be on today. What I wanted to spend some time with you today is many of you know Kaseya or Datto as an organization. And we have lots of different products and services to help and empower MSPs. Ultimately, we are here for one reason, and that is to serve the multifunctional IT professional. But it's not all about tools and services. So I'm going to touch on that today. This is not really a product pitch or, I guess, my elevator pitch. It's how we can help you as an MSP away from some of the tools and services that you get overloaded and bombarded with really on a day-to-day basis. As Dan said, my name's Greg Jones. I'm Vice President of Business Development for Kaseya and Datto in the EMEA region. I used to be an MSP. I'm still a recovering MSP, still feel the pain. So I've been with the business about 6 years or so. Before that, I was on the MSP side of the fence for about 7 years, and then local and central government. So I'm going to quickly skip over this slide, apart from to say thank you to everyone who's on today's call. Kaseya is an organization that's all about bringing enterprise-grade technology down to support MSPs on your promise to your clients. We have over 50,000 partners across the globe with a turnover of over 2 billion. And this slide is not to kind of flex our muscles. It's to say thank you to you and the MSP community. You are everything to us in terms of our go-to-market strategy. Quite frankly, we would not be the size that we are or the scale we are today without you and your support. Some of the businesses or affiliate brands you might be well aware of, far too many to put on one slide. There's about 34 different products and services in terms of our portfolio. Today, I wanted to talk about Profit Fuel and, more importantly, our MSP enablement arm. That is a team of about 100 individuals that are here to support your MSP business. They are not targeting on a sales number or growth. They are solely here to support the success of you in business. Why? It's very obvious, because if you grow as an MSP, we grow at Kaseya. And one of the flagship offerings that we have is called Profit Fuel. It is 100% free of charge for all of our customers. And what is Profit Fuel? Well, ultimately, Profit Fuel is about taking away some of the challenges in the market that we see at the moment around vendor fatigue, limited integrations that many MSPs say they're struggling with, because typically MSPs across the globe work with about 17 different vendors on average. Poor utilization across the globe. Only 30% of features of any given product are ever used. That means arguably 70% of what you're paying out for goes unused. We want to change that. And also high software cost. Software is increasing at a rate of knots. We're seeing lots of vendors put the price up really. So one of the things that we offered to the market was really understanding, as you grow and scale your MSP, it's absolutely right that cash is king and keeping a handle on that. Lots of MSPs, I'm not saying on this call, but possibly, have product tools and software that simply goes unused, either fully or you're oversubscribing to licenses that you don't need or features that are not being done. So what is Profit Fuel? Well, it's a free of charge exercise that Kaseya takes you on a journey to evolve your business operational maturity. It's about saving costs, gaining efficiencies by completing an exercise. It's a fully baked out process that you go through that basically has a look under the hood of your business with a discovery. We do some analytics within there, build you a proposal around what we would recommend, whether it's with us or another vendor, and also how that transition would look like as well. Across all of our products, our the partners that we've conducted a Profit Fuel with, the savings are there or thereabouts, around about 20%. For larger MSPs, it doesn't always scale up, so you don't always see 40 or even higher percentage. It's usually around 20% across the board. Ultimately, what we're looking to do with you is give you more increased productivity in your business, which drives profitability. Again, going back to that cash is king. I don't want to get into the weeds today of what it is. We're happy to obviously do a demo and get you on with an account manager to take you through this process with some of our senior execs. But ultimately, this is a tried and tested process that we take MSPs through. We've reversed engineered it through what we see as our most successful MSPs. And also we use some of the processes that we use in the likes of our True Peer program, our True Methods that's headed up by Gary Peaker. I'm sure some of you will know about that, but it's really understanding what you've got going on within your business, understand the costs that you are paying out for around your technology stack, doing a full audit within your business around licenses, the tools, how they're used, but also we analyze how that benchmarks against other MSPs. And we come back to you with a solution around what we propose would work. In many cases, it's keeping some of those existing solutions, maybe changing how you use them, how you go to market, or reducing, or in some cases, increasing licensing costs. We analyze all of the cost savings that we bring, not just from a financial point of view, but also from a benefit point of view in terms of a point in time. We hold your hand right throughout the process. We do some of the heavy lift. As I mentioned before, it's totally free of charge for you as an MSP. However, there is a charge. And what I mean by that is it's not a hard charge to Kaseya. There is a time element, and we all know time in business costs money. So that is really the only requirements that we have for you. And obviously to agree if you start the process to finish the process as well. So what are some of the benefits to competing a Profit Fuel with Kaseya? Well, it's about looking at your out-of-date products, obsolete products within your portfolio stack, probably products that are not being utilized. Feature overlaps as well. We see lots and lots of MSPs with huge amounts of overlaps of products and features. Also as well, a huge cost saving across the board around the products that you have. Greater efficiencies in terms of how you manage it. We will make recommendations and suggestions. Ultimately, more profit within your business. If we can do any tweaks around your expenditure within your business, or how those tools are being worked, or how we can get your level 1s working at level 2 capacity and level 2s to level 3, ultimately we improve your EBITDA, your profitability, if you're looking to scale your business, or possibly if you're looking to exit as well. I also wanted to spend a couple of moments to just announce our most recent event in Las Vegas, our Kaseya Connect Global. We launched our Partner First Pledge. That is where we listen to the market to say, what do we need to change? We don't get it always right. We have dropped the ball in the past, And we will, I guess, in the future, unfortunately, drop the ball on a couple of occasions where we would not like to. However, we are all about taking ownership and listening. We've put together a partner first pledge, which is all about helping and support the community because you're everything to us. We've brought back 1-year agreements for all of our products. We've introduced flexible spending around our contracts and our products, or the likes of BCDR. So if maybe environments move to the cloud or on premise, we'll allow you to move that spend. Catastrophic loss prevention of a client. If you lose a client that equates to 20% of your revenue, we will forego that contract. Price lock guarantees and month-to-month contract on BCDR as well. Finally, I just want to finish around our flagship offering that has been 10 years in the making, that we believe will change the market forever. We've seen overwhelming demand since we launched our single solution for MSPs to manage securely and back up all of their environments in one single pane of glass at a fraction of the cost. That's it really from today's session. I've just hit 10 minutes. I'd love to connect with you. I'm constantly sharing information to help the MSP community. And if you are interested, please, reach out to Dan or myself. I'd love to book you into a demo for Profit Fuel or talk to you about we can help grow your MSP business. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you so much, Greg. And very similar to my summary after Victor's presentation, again, cash is king. And there's, and I can almost guarantee this, that most MSPs have expenses that are eating into their profitability. Expenses for, as Greg mentioned, licenses that are unused or underutilized, or services that aren't maximized. And it is up to us to be able to identify that. Having a solution like that to be able to make it easier for us to be able to ID those is critical, and it just makes our jobs a lot easier. But again, we must, not be so stuck in our businesses. We need to be focused on our business in order to ID those. So, Greg, thank you so much for that, and we will move on to our final presenter. We've got Matt Nesty with Wasabi. And I always like saying that word. It's a cool word, wasabi, right?
It's fun. It's our marketing team has a lot of fun with the branding as well.
That is awesome. And so as we kick off Matt's presentation talking about cloud storage, we will also ask Matt something unique about him that we might not be aware of.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just sharing my screen because my fun fact kind of just goes along with this handsome fella on my first slide. So this is my 1.5-year-old golden retriever. One of those things when you kind of get a new hobby or something new in your life, it becomes your whole personality. This is what my dog has been for me. So very big part of my life. Proud of Dad, and yeah, cute little picture here for you.
Very cool. All right, we're going to get started. We'll go ahead and kick off our timer, and you have 10 minutes starting now.
All right, sounds good. All right, hi, everybody. We're kind of going to continue the cash is king message a little bit more in this presentation, talking about cloud storage. Switch the narrative a little bit by talking about a specific product in a specific market, but really around Wasabi and what we're doing. For everyone that is familiar with us, I know there is a good portion of MSP partners that are familiar or are using Wasabi. We are also very new to a lot of other partners, but we really focus on being a cost-effective, secure, high-performing S3 cloud storage solution. When you look at the market when it comes to cloud storage in general, and this is going to give you a quick breakdown of some things about Wasabi I'll get into, but when you look at cloud storage, there's typically 3 major hyperscalers that are taking over the market: Google, Microsoft, Amazon. And there's some good things about those products. They have some strong performance metrics, strong security, but you hear time and time again, what we hear is the complexity of their pricing and payment options and things of that nature becomes a real problem for MSPs and their customers. So Wasabi, we were founded back in 2015. We really came to market from the previous owners and the founders of Carbonite, Jeff Flowers and David Friend. They brought Wasabi to the market, taking their knowledge from the software world, the technology world, to start this new venture with Wasabi. And you can see those few bullet points there that Wasabi's done a lot to grow over the past, we'll call it 9 years, 8 years, to grow our market share, make sure we're stable financially and able to grow as a company going forward. So we are in a really good spot. And I think overall, our popularity as a cloud storage option is really growing, especially in comparison to some of our competitors, which we listed here. It's tough to go up against some of those big guys, but we've really put together a solid product and format specifically tailored to our MSP partners to help with managing your customers and being able to offer a strong cloud storage solution. So yeah, really quick breakdown. We think about Wasabi, we do S3 cloud object storage as a service. That's really what we focus on doing. Looking at the landscape, pricing wise, again, going into the cash is king conversation, there's a lot of options out there for cloud storage, and Wasabi really focuses on keeping our margins lower on the internal side with our products, so we can offer a very competitive price to our partners, and you can offer a strong price point to your customers. So you can see here when you look at other options, and this is kind of a general sense looking at different tiers of different cloud storage providers. Wasabi is extremely competitive. And with Wasabi, talking about tiers, we only offer one tier of our products. We don't have 5 or 6 different tier options that will provide different aspects or different features. It's really just one hot cloud storage product that is at a list price, $7 per terabyte per month. And from an MSP perspective, we do have some benefits to allow you to get some additional discounts, be more profitable with your margin when working with Wasabi, but a very competitive starting point when you look at the landscape of other cloud storage options out there. One of the biggest things Wasabi really focuses on, and again, when we're talking about cloud storage, from a product perspective, we're not reinventing the wheel. S3 storage is something that Amazon kind of kicked off in the market. They developed that S3 API, which Wasabi operates off of. It's a public API. It really just helps us integrate with different types of use cases, which I can dive into in a second here. But to stay on the price topic, Wasabi took out the complexity of additional fees that come along with cloud storage. So when you're looking at data egress or API requests or even data ingress, uploading data to your storage account, we don't have any fees for that. Typical providers, other cloud storage providers will charge a few cents per gigabit to download data or to upload data, and that just becomes very complex over time. We eliminated that so you really can get a flat fee model and really just focus on what your capacity is going to translate into what your cost is. So from a business perspective, our pricing is very predictable. You're able to really understand what your storage is going to be month to month or even for the next year, 3 years, whatever it may be. We have some flexible options when it comes to purchasing storage that will make it very easy for you to understand what you're going to be paying for your cloud storage over time. And again, no additional tiers, so it's really easy just to kind of pick the Wasabi product you want to work with. You're going to get your price for that product, and then you can kind of move forward with your day-to-day in your business. So very straightforward pricing. We try to keep it very competitive, eliminate those fees, so when you're working with your customers and they're looking for that additional security with their data, have that offsite copy of whatever data it may be, you're able to offer a very competitive option to them. You're also we have different ways for you to be able to bundle in our product with different solutions and as a service model as you have, so it can be profitable for you, competitive for your customers, and it can make everybody happy. So pretty straightforward on this side when it comes to pricing. Again, just trying to eliminate fees that a lot of customers and partners are complaining about in the cloud storage world. And kind of keeping on that fee conversation. So one thing to kind of look at on the Wasabi website, if you guys have some time, we do have a cloud storage index that is ran by our senior, I think his title is Senior Competitive Analyst. His name is Andrew Smith, but really his role at Wasabi is just to evaluate the market out there for cloud storage and see what the pain points are. And the big thing that we're seeing is when it comes to overall spend on traditional cloud storage products, there's the really majority, and close to the majority, is coming from fees. That red part there, the 48%, is all about fees. So the total cost when it comes to cloud storage is not just around that capacity and that terabyte number, it's around that data egress and that data ingress and things that customers don't always consider and some partners don't always consider when selling cloud storage. So it's one thing, again, we try to take the complexity out of so you can really just focus on simply selling storage to your customers, simply selling some service models, not being caught off guard by what pricing looks like from storing data with Wasabi. So when it comes to integrations, again, we're using that S3 API to be very versatile and working a lot in data backup, working a lot in video surveillance, archive data, and these are some of our top partners that have integrated Wasabi into their user interface as a cloud target. So Veeam, we see a lot of Veeam use cases, Veritas, MSP 360. I know a lot of you guys are probably familiar with them. They do a great job with their backup product tied directly to Wasabi. And this is a great view to kind of see the full solution when it comes to Wasabi as well. So our product is that offsite cloud storage location. More times than not, we're tying into a backup product, one of these here, or another S3 application to move that data to Wasabi. And again, we're very versatile, have a lot of different integrations on the backup side and different data management softwares to make it easy to connect to Wasabi, and a lot of designed integration guides to help show you how to integrate your existing software with Wasabi. So very simple to usually set up anything, but these are some of our top partners we work with from different use cases as well. Quickly, just going to show this slide on security and some compliance checkboxes that we have. So just like to highlight this to show when Wasabi is talking about data security, looking at having data storage for certain sensitive markets. We check the box for a lot of different compliances. So anything you need in terms of white papers, anything that kind of shows how Wasabi is compliant with any of these mentioned here, we can certainly provide that and make it very simple for you to see that information as well. Data center wise, we have 4 data centers in the US. So we have 14 global, 4 in the US. Again, that last slide showed we're fully SOC 2 compliant, have that ISO compliance. But when you are storing your data with Wasabi, you're able to choose the storage region you're going to be putting that data into. So we're not going to force you to store in a certain region for any certain reason. You could pick and choose what region makes best sense for you and your customers based off performance. But luckily have a good variety of locations for you to choose from. And then finally, before I hit my 10 minutes here, just wanted to show a quick look at some of the tools that we put together and features we put together for our MSP partners when using Wasabi. So really when it comes to working with cloud storage and your customers, there's always going to be a management aspect that ties into their cloud storage. And we want to make it easy for you to manage your customers from an invoicing perspective and also just the day-to-day with data storage. So we have a couple features. The Wasabi Account Control Manager is going to be a huge feature we see a lot of our MSP partners using for invoicing, and then also some white labeling options as well to help you with customizing and branding Wasabi to fit your business and help you with selling Wasabi as a cloud storage option as well. So definitely focusing a lot on the Wasabi side with our MSP community to make sure that we're providing you guys the right tools to have a successful business and make selling Wasabi, just cloud storage in general, more effective for you in the long term as well. So I'll cut my time there. Feel free to join me in a breakout session. I'm definitely going to go through the Wasabi console a little bit so you can see what that looks like, talk about some additional services and products, and of course, some more good times. So appreciate you listening to me talk for a little bit and appreciate the time, Dan.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. And, I think a couple of the things that jumped out at me is going to be simplicity, predictability, and security. I think the simplicity component of it, really correlates to the cash is king, because, when you talk about no egress fees, no API request fees, or any kind of complex storage tiers, that makes life not only easier for us from a perspective of being able to do that billing, but also it allows us to be more profitable and still deliver a very high quality level of cloud storage. So, Matt, thank you for that. We're going to move on to our next section, which is going to be our demo rooms. But before we do that, Talon is going to throw a poll out there right now. And you can go ahead and complete this poll, letting us know which of the vendors you'd like to hear from. Once you complete that, we will pass that information on to each of the vendors, FlexPoint, Kaseya, and Wasabi, so that they can reach back out to you. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our next section, which is our demo rooms. And just a quick reminder to make sure that you stay all the way to the end, because we have $250 in cash, all in pennies, that we want to give away to you. And so we want to make sure that you stay to the end. You have to stay to the end in order to be eligible to be one of our lucky randomly selected winners. And so our demo rooms gives you the ability to see some hands-on, as well as get any questions answered that you might have. You will find in the bottom of Zoom, there's going to be a breakout room button. When you click on that, when you click on the breakout rooms, it gives you the ability to pick one of the breakout rooms that are available. So feel free to select a breakout room. Each of our presenters will automatically jump into their respective breakout rooms, and you are more than welcome to move over to Wasabi, learn what you want to learn, move over to Kaseya, move over to FlexPoint. You can bounce around. If you don't select a room, or if you're not familiar with how to find it, just go ahead and throw a message into chat, and we will help get you there. If you're not selecting a room for some reason, we'll go ahead and bounce you into a room and you can move around. So with that being said, let's go ahead and open up our breakout rooms. About 120 seconds before we are completed, we will go ahead and throw a notice out there. Everybody will automatically get moved back here into the main stage.